All right, go ahead, people. Dr. Nicole McCarty here. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Dr. Nicole McCarty here. And here I share our family's expat journey, our travel experiences, real life insights. I'm an integrative health doctor, expert wellness strategist, so that is woven all in through. I'm a homeschool mom, all the things. And we share real life insights to help families make confident decisions about traveling and living abroad, right? So today I'm reviewing an Airbnb in which we stayed in Johannesburg, South Africa. And this is going to be a very honest review because it's one of those places that looks amazing online, and it was almost. But the real experience had a few surprises. And so this is not a bashing video. This is not a bashing video, but it's an honest one so that, you know, these are things that you can kind of keep in mind. So let's first talk about what the Airbnb did really, really well. So the location was actually a huge plus. Huge. It was central, it was quiet, it was scenic, it was close to food. So, and that's a win, close to food. So we could walk and get a variety of different food, have a nice little unique cultural experience. And so it was called, location. It was great. And when we first walked in, visually, it was beautiful and spacious and well designed. Of course, as we settled in, we started to notice a few things. Now, read the fact that we were there 3 weeks. Okay, so oftentimes if you're staying someplace for a week, like, you know, you may or may not notice things. But we were there for 3, right? So first, the living space, like from a layout perspective, the space itself was really, really nice. Plenty of room, especially for a family, right? I mean, opened up until like a second sunroom, if you will, and then had the wall of moving windows, or like the transform the space to indoor-outdoor space where everything moves. And so it was beautiful, spacious. However, one thing that we noticed pretty quickly was that it wasn't thoroughly cleaned as we expected. There was, oh my gosh, it was quite a bit of dust, especially on like corners and drapes and furniture. And it was like our allergies were going ham. Like my allergies, my kids' allergies, my mom's allergies, going ham. And so that was one thing. The kitchen had everything we needed on paper. Everything was great. But in practice, a few of the appliances didn't work as expected and needed a little more attention. And so like we didn't have use of an oven for the entire time we were there. It would smoke the entire house. And we were like, yeah, no, we can't use that. So we kind of made do with like the stove. And we had a mishap with the stove, but it was, you know, it could have happened to anyone, you know. So we didn't make a big deal out of that, but it took my husband, like we had to go and outside and look at the gas thing, whatever. Yeah, it was a lot, but we got it working. So that was no biggie. And then like something happened like with the refrigerator. It was a lot. Like in practice, a few of the appliances didn't work as expected, and they needed some more attention, you know, which was a little frustrating, especially if you were, you know, as we were planning to cook and we were there for 3 weeks. And so we weren't going to eat out all the time. So that was that. Being in South Africa, because even when we went to Cape Town, we stayed at a different Airbnb, and I'll do a different video on that one. But one thing we noticed, garbage disposals here in the US, like most of the homes, a lot of the apartments, they have garbage disposals. Are garbage disposals not really a thing in South Africa? I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, I was like, well, maybe it takes too much power. Maybe it's just something that culturally, like they're not used to. Maybe they compost because they do a lot of farming and organic farming and everything. I don't know. So that's a question. If anybody knows, y'all want to chime in. especially my South African fam. Like our garbage disposal is not a thing. Yeah, because that's something we noticed. But anyway, I digress. So back to the matter at hand. So yeah, that was a kitchen. Bedrooms. So the sleeping areas were comfortable overall, right? The master had like this, like it opened up to like a sunroom patio thing that went across from the master to the other, like second master bedroom, I guess. And the rooms were a nice size, like they were large, so that was helpful, and that was really nice. But again, it was the cleanliness, particularly the dust. Like it wasn't dirty, it was just dusty. And that was something we had to navigate, especially like traveling with kids, and they would play on the floor. We're like, oh God, please, no, not on the floor, And so the dust, that dust, and of course when you're sleeping, if you have a bunch of dust on curtains and dust in crevices, and if you can't breathe, anybody ever had allergies so bad to where you really couldn't breathe well while you slept? It sucks, doesn't it? It does. So that was our life. Okay. And we did reach out, and they came back to address the dust. It didn't really address it. So we just like, don't worry about it. It's all right. We were already there. What can you do? Right. The bathrooms were, they were nice. They were nice. I don't have anything bad to say, Yeah, they were nice. They were clean. They had like a warming towel rack, which was really, really nice when you're getting out of the shower. There were certain things where I was just like, how does this work? But that comes with traveling to a new place, traveling to a new country. Like you have to learn how different things are, right? The good thing was that this place did have a washer and dryer on premises, so that was nice. It was small. The one thing I noticed, the washers and dryers, and it was probably by design, but in both of the Airbnbs, we wanted a washer and dryer. Okay, with two small kids, we're there for a while. We need that. So, but they were small. So, to wash clothes, and that was different just because in the U.S. we tend to have larger drums. Now, I'm sure you can purchase larger drums. So like in the home that you live in, the home that you rent, the home that you purchase, I'm pretty sure you can purchase a larger size or large drum is the name, I think. The inside, right? Purchase a larger one, but those were small. But it was fine, because we just washed kind of in between, and I'd face the proverbial fight of folding a ton of clothes. Gotta love that. It follows you. It doesn't matter where you are. So anyway, it had a washer and dryer, so that was nice. Even though it was outside, but it was inside, if that makes sense. So still not bad, But this is where, I always like to bring it back to real life. Like as a family, especially with kids, cleanliness hits differently, Like it's not just aesthetics, it's about comfort and peace of mind. Why? Because they're all over the floor, they're everywhere, they play, they wrestle, that's what they do, right? So while the space looked great, we did find ourselves like having to, I think wipe things down more, or try to wash our face every few hours just to kind of keep. It was just dusty, For the price point, I would say you're really paying for location. Yeah. And the look of the space, because it does look nice. But in terms of like maintenance and upkeep, there's definitely some room for improvement. And if I were an Airbnb host, I would want someone to tell me like, need to tighten up a little bit in this area, So anyway, like pros are great location, beautiful design, spacious layout, family friendly space overall. And the backyard is very private, but very nice, very cute. Ability to open the doors, which we did a little bit, but not much. And then of course, some of the cons, cleanliness could be improved, especially the dust. The dust was really our primary thing. Some appliances didn't function as expected. There were ones that we generally use a lot. And a bit more attention needed to detail. One thing I can say though, the Airbnb hosts, they were super responsive, super polite, very accommodating. So even though we had this issue, it didn't leave a sour taste in our mouth, And again, for the price point, unmatched. Listen, once they dust, and check your appliances. But after that, yeah, golden. So would we stay here again? I'd say maybe. But only if those maintenance and cleaning issues were addressed first. This is one of those Airbnbs that has so much potential. And it just needs a little more care to match what it promises visually, And so if I had to rate it, I'd probably do a 7 out of 10. Do a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It was nice. It was nice. It had some issues, but it was nice. And so, listen, if you appreciate honest reviews like this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow. Again, I'm giving you real life experiences here. And we're talking about everything on our expat journey, what we're learning. I'm passing on that information to you. If you plan on, traveling for a vacation or doing scouting trips and relocating to whether it's South Africa or whether it's somewhere else, our goal is to share so that others can learn and then go be great in these spaces. You know what I mean? And not embarrass yourself. So anyway, back to the matter at hand. Let me know in the comments, would cleanliness issues be a deal breaker for you, or would you work around it? I will tell you, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. And I won't go in detail with this story, but my mom ended up getting her hair braided, and they came and they were sweeping up and they lifted a mat, and I don't know, it was a combination of the dust and the mat had disintegrated, so there was just mounds of dust. And I was like, oh, no wonder we can't breathe in here, Jesus. So again, this is not a knock or a hit to the Airbnb. It was beautiful. It just needed less dust and more reliable appliances. But we got through it. We had a stove, so we cooked on the stove. When we didn't feel like cooking, we walked down and got some food. So, it was still, it was good. It was good. Not bad. Nice and peaceful. will see you next time. But y'all go ahead and like, share, follow, subscribe, all the things. And I'll see you next time. Love and blessings. Toodles.